Hi, this is Robert Estrin at livingpianos.com, your online piano store. And the question today is, which is heavier or harder to play, a Steinway or a Yamaha? Well, there's a lot to this question. The real differences in pianos come from smaller pianos to larger pianos. Generally speaking, a bigger piano, you're moving more mass, the hammers have more weight, so a bigger piano has a heavier feel. Even though they're weighted to balance out the action, you still are moving more mass, so bigger pianos have a more substantial feel. But what about the differences between Yamaha and Steinway? Some people say, oh, Steinways could be stiff, or Yamahas could be heavy, or the opposite. The truth of the matter is, it all comes down to regulation. If a piano is properly regulated, one shouldn't be heavier or lighter, they should be responsive. And most pianos fall into the 50 to 60 grams of down weight. The up weight is a little bit different. And you've probably noticed that lower notes on pianos are heavier than higher notes because there's more felt on the hammers. Now, there are things that technicians can do to change the action and character of the action. They can be weighted to make them heavier. There's techniques to lighten them. The most important thing that technicians do with pianos is to get everything moving as well as possible, because any excessive friction of the felt bushings, and there are dozens of them on every single key, can make a piano feel heavier because you're overcoming the friction. So lubrication and sometimes easing or changing center pins to smaller center pins if the felt is too tight, this can all help to make the action move better and in the process lighten the touch. Now, sometimes if you've ever sat down at a piano and it just plays like a truck, you wonder, how can this be? Well, a lot of times this is due to technicians who replace the hammers on the piano and they don't use exactly the right specification. The weight could be off by even just a couple of grams, and it's amplified because of the leverage you get from the key. So even being off by a small amount can really affect the touch of a piano. This is where you need an experienced technician who just doesn't order the parts to a certain piano assuming it's going to work, because the specifications can change over time. This is true of Steinway as well as Yamaha. Also, if hammers have been in pianos for a long, long time and gotten worn and they've been reshaped over and over again, well, the reshaping process eliminates some felt. So you might have a slightly lighter feel than the piano had before the hammers were filed. So these are all things that enter into it, but I wouldn't say overall that Steinways or Yamahas are generally heavier or lighter than each other. And any technicians who have more information about this, I welcome comments on our videos on our website, livingpianos.com. Thanks so much for joining me, Robert Estrin.